Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Greg Sloop, and it's time for Live at 5 on this Sunday, September 15th, 2024. Hope you are having an absolutely spectacular day. Great time at the Kannapolis Church of God this morning. If you watched us, thank you. If you didn't, go back and watch later. It'll be right here, put on our very top of our page, other than this post here, on the very page you're watching right now. So go back and take a look at it if you haven't, and enjoy service today. We are continuing to look at prominent New Testament scriptures, or I'm sorry, prominent Old Testament scriptures, well known stories and passages. We're up to Exodus chapter 33, and we're looking at verse 7 today, 33:7. It's basically talking about Moses meeting with the Lord. So, verse 7 of Exodus 33 starts like this: Moses took his tent and pitched it outside the camp, far from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of meeting. Now, this is just Moses' tent. This is not the big tent yet, I don't think. And it came to pass that everyone who sought the Lord went out to the tabernacle of meeting, which was outside the camp. So it was, whenever Moses went out to the tabernacle, that all the people rose, and each man stood at his tent door and watched Moses until he had gone into the tabernacle. So there was by this time, a tremendous amount of respect for Moses. They came out, stood in their tent door, and watched him go to the tabernacle, which is just a tent. But it is distinguished because Moses is living in another tent in the actual encampment, and this is outside the camp. And it came to pass, verse 9, when Moses entered the tabernacle, that the pillar of cloud descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle. What a great object lesson. What a great visual for the people of Israel, because they are seeing Moses pass by all these tents, and the people rose and stood at the tent and watched him and had respect for him. And then the pillar of cloud would descend and stand at the door of the tabernacle, showing that God came to meet with Moses. Now, he didn't have to, but that was the arrangement. Moses went to the tabernacle of meeting, and the pillar of cloud stood at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose and worshiped, each man in his tent door. They all worshiped. They knew where Moses was going. They knew what was going to happen. They knew the presence of the Lord would be near, and they worshiped as Moses was in the tabernacle speaking to God. Now, it says in verse 11, this is the telling verse, I think. So the Lord spoke to Moses face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. And he would return to the camp, but his servant Joshua the son of Nun, a young man, did not depart from the tabernacle. Now it appears as though Joshua took up residence there, but Moses just came when it was time to speak with God. This is a unique and amazing arrangement between God and Moses. Moses was the man of God. Moses was the prophet of God. Moses was the voice of God to the people, because he had that kind of relationship with Yahweh. He was close to him. They were like face to face. They were like friends. Man can't be a friend of God, although that is called out in a couple places in the Old Testament. Can't really be a friend or a peer. You can't be an equal with God, but you can be in a deep, meaningful relationship with God. And that's the kind of relationship Moses had with Yahweh. We need that kind of relationship. We need that kind of contact with God Almighty. It will give us a better opportunity to live in a blessed way, and it'll give God the opportunity to speak into our lives in a way that will help us be more like we need to be for Him. And that's the word for today. Good to see a few of you on here with us. I see Kathleen Palace. I see Mayo Diana Koga. And I see Sharon Noblet. So thankful for all of you being with us today. There are 7 of you on, and I can only see 3 names, but thank you. Whatever time of day or night you watch, it's always our privilege to have you with us. And it's our blessing to be able to bring this every day, Sunday through Friday. And we appreciate you being with us so much. Spend time with God every day. When you rise up to go to your day, spend time with God, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or the middle of the night. Spend time with God. If you spend a few moments with God, even if it's just 10, 20 minutes, It will make a difference in your day. It'll be the best thing you do all day long. Please know we love you and we're praying for you. And I look forward to seeing each of you again tomorrow live